first question A part from January February 2021 is differentiate between RISC and CISC processor, which is asked for 6 marks. Okay, so you know that RISC stands for reduced instruction set computer and CISC stands for complex instruction set computer. Okay, so mainly the differences of your RISC and CISC are with respect to the 4 different parameters. One is your instruction, second is your pipelines, registers and load and store architecture. Okay, so these are some of the important points or the differences which can be written for the exam. So first difference is that under the RISC, simple instructions are used taking single clock with high clock speed. Okay, so whereas in the case of CISC, complex instructions taking multiple clock with lower clock frequencies. Second difference is emphasis, the RISC architecture emphasis on software and complexity is in the compiler, whereas your CISC emphasis is on hardware and complexity is in the microprogram or processor. That same diagram is given here. Okay, so in the case of RISC, you have the complexity in the compiler, whereas in the case of CISC you have the complexity in that of your processor or your microcode. Okay, that is what the diagram related to that of your second point. Now the third point, it has reduced instruction. RISC has reduced instructions. Instructions is executed by hardware, whereas in the CISC, complex instructions, as the first same step, instructions are executed by microprogram or processor. Okay, so fourth point, fixed format instructions are used in RISC. Multiple register, many number of register sets and few instructions are executed in single cycle. Whereas here in the case of CISC, it has variable format instructions, single register, only single register set, many instructions and takes many cycles to execute, similar to that of the first point. Now the next point is in the case of RISC, you have fixed instructions and few addressing modes. Okay, whereas here you have many addressing modes. Then in the case of RISC, you have conditional jump can be based on a bit anywhere in the memory, whereas your conditional jump usually is based on the status register bit. Okay, and the next difference is in the case of RISC, you have memory references embedded in load or stored instructions, whereas in the case of CISC, your memory reference is embedded in many instructions. Okay, the next difference is the processing of the instruction is broken down into smaller units that can be executed in parallel by pipelines. That is, the pipeline execution is easy in this case, here it is hard. Okay, instructions are executed by a mini program called microcode. So the next difference is large general purpose register set. Registers act as a fast local memory store for all the data processing operation. They have dedicated registers for specific purpose in the case of CISC. Okay, so these are the major differences between your RISC and the CISC.